Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Elena, and today I thought I would do a video on my painting that I was inspired to do after watching the movie Ugly Dolls. I don't know if anyone's heard of this movie, but it's on Amazon Prime. It's also on YouTube for free. And it's one of my favorite movies of all time, and I just came across it like recently. And one of the theme songs on there is Broken and Beautiful by Kelly Clarkson, and I didn't know that. And if anyone actually listens or like reads the lyrics to that song, like the first time I read the lyrics to that song, it just made me cry. And I've heard this song over and over again, but it never occurred to me to look at the lyrics, and I'm like, oh my god, it really struck a chord with me. And this movie was so healing for me, and I remember the first time I watched it, I cried and cried and cried, and it was just so healing because it's basically a movie for those who felt like they just never belonged and that they're different, but they didn't know that they were different until they started to socialize and try to meet with people or go reach out to friends. They don't realize that they're very different. And the concept of Ugly Dolls is that basically they're made in this factory of dolls, and they don't realize that if there's an imperfect doll, they are kind of shuffled to the side. And these ugly dolls are called ugly dolls that were rejected and shuffled to the side, but they don't realize that they're ugly or rejected dolls. They just are very happy. They have their own village. They're just living their own life. It's only until they try to enter back into society that they are criticized or ridiculed and they're judged. And because their ultimate goal as a doll is in this story, they're trying to be accepted and loved by kids, or they're praying that one day a kid will love them. And so they'll do anything to try to be perfect or fit into the mold to be accepted. And it's just a really lovely story because at the end of the day, they start to realize that their imperfections are actually what makes them so beautiful. And the reason why I think the universe is such an amazing place and that it's so magical in so many ways is that I have always been drawn to these dolls, but I didn't know what they were. I had no idea there was a story behind them or anything. My first Funko doll, those Funko plastic dolls, vinyl dolls or whatever, was gifted to me by my brother, and it was a main character named Ox. And I don't have it with me anymore. I don't know what I did with it. It was so old. It was so long ago. But it was my first introduction to what an ugly doll was. And I'm like, ooh, that kind of looks neat, right? And obviously my brother felt compelled to get that specific Funko doll for me. And a few years later, several years later actually, probably when I looked at the photo of this, because I took a photo with this doll that I have here, I was walking in Dollarama or whatever, and it was in March 2023, so that was 2 years ago. I saw this doll. She didn't have the beads. I put these beads on. But it's so cute. I was like, wow, what a weird looking, I love it. I love it. I love how weird it looks. I love how different it looks. It doesn't look like a typical, doll. Look how freaking cute that is. And then I had it on my shelf for years. I put a little Krispy Kreme donut hat on it, and I just loved it. And it just sat on my, shelf for years. I didn't think much of it. It turns out this character's name is Moxie, and she is the main character of Ugly Dolls. And so when I put the two and two together, and when I was watching the movie, I was literally holding this. I'm literally crying. It just kind of brought it all together because, as somebody who is ADHD and autistic and different, and you don't know that you're different, and you've been trying to find people who are different like you and are accepting of your differences. It's been such a trying time when really it's like you've been basically tuning into an audience, or not tuning into an audience, but like being in an environment that maybe isn't for you, right? Like it's just like you're trying to fit in a crowd where people are just not in resonance with you, when really you should be finding those who are in resonance with you. Like they have a whole town called Uglyville, and you know, they were perfectly happy and joyous and doing their thing. They're still happy now, but it's like they spent their whole entire time trying to be accepted in a world that is really not interesting and boring and not for them, right? Like everything is like similar, the same. There's not much color. Like there's so many things about this movie that I absolutely adore, and I'm gonna link it down at the bottom. But yeah, I really wanted to show you the painting I did, and hopefully I could do a voiceover, because I don't know, I'm having a hard time finding good lighting to kind of show you what I made. But yeah, it's one of my favorite things, and yeah, I hope you like this painting as much as I do, because I just kind of put it all together, and hopefully in my attempt to put all these characters together will I start to manifest those in this world that are in resonance with me, in the fact that I am very different. I see things differently. I live in a very different way, and that's perfectly fine. And maybe my differences is supposed to kind of, I don't know, attract those who are different too. And then maybe this world won't feel so isolating, you know? Anyways, isn't it cute? Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Okay, bye. Alright, so I had high hopes to do a time lapse here, but I clearly didn't record enough videos for this. Oh well, so bear with me. I basically started off by doing a rough sketch, just to get all the placements of all the characters that I want from the movie into this painting. And this canvas is 4 foot by 5 foot. I started with pencil sketches. I want to make sure that I got, like, you know, Three-Eyed Steve, you know, Ice Bat. I wasn't sure if I wanted that background character there. I got some filler characters in here as well. I needed to make sure that all the main characters were there and kind of in the spotlight, and then also I really wanted them to kind of be joyously kind of hugged together by the giant octopus. For this painting, I wanted to use acrylic paints. There were some colors that I wasn't able to correctly match, I don't think, so I had to use some leather paints, just to try to make sure that I was able to capture the essence of the character to the best of my ability. Obviously these characters are like fuzzy and they have like specific colors, but I wanted to use what I had, and so yeah, I just kind of used a bunch of paints here, and you know, it was a process. I had to keep layering it. I had to make sure that I had enough contrast in the shadows, and then I had to wait for it to dry, and then, you know, on and on and on. And obviously painting this in the basement, it is quite dark, so I don't think it really captures how bright this is, but eventually at the end of this video I'm going to be able to show you how colorful the characters are. I think I was only able to get this last video for the process of my painting. They all look kind of weird without eyeballs and pupils on them. But yeah, like this, in the 4 characters here took me a couple hours. So this is all I kind of got for the process. But in the next shot here, you're going to be able to see the full scope of this painting. So enjoy. Oh yes, and I wanted to make sure I had the little doodles in that little sketcher thing. I don't know, that yellow thing. I don't know his name, but yeah, I just wanted to make sure I captured everything in this painting. And this is outside in nice daylight time. I put Moxie, my doll, right next to it, just to kind of show the scale of it. I'm very proud of it. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later.